Well, I didn't say that Abbott was the most incompetent leader in the world. Obviously, there are people like Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner who are off the chart, who seem to be actually unhinged. I just said that Abbott seemed to be the least competent leader of any rich democracy. And the point of making those comparisons to some of those other people was to just note some of the striking similarities. Doesn't mean I agree or disagree with what Abbott's policies are, but he just seems to continually have a lack of a grasp of how to deal with his own supporters, which seems to me why he's continually alienating people within his coalition. He seems to have an inability to grasp the policies he's actually made. He seems to have moved policy in a pretty different direction from what he promised in the election campaign. And he seems somewhat unaware of how he is perceived at world events and how poorly he comes off. All of those things together seem to make up a strikingly poor politician. Still, overall, Australia is considered pretty stable and in many ways a non-issue in U.S. policy because Australia is so stable and close partner. So you would have to be on the level of Cristina Fernandez to really mess it up. But, I think the climate change issue obviously is one in which is completely out of step with other wealthy countries, even the U.S., where we have our own problems with climate change policy. And I think that Abbott is probably also perceived by a lot of American politicians, or not politicians, but opinion leaders who are interested in Southeast Asia and the region. He's committed to the general pivot strategy in the region, but he seems unclear about exactly what role Australia should play. Also, his immigration policy is not legal immigration, but his refugee policy is disjointed and probably perceived by some who follow it in the U.S. as inhumane. And he's done okay, but I think given the dramatic change in Indonesia and the opportunity for a really change in relations with Indonesia, given who is now president, for those in the U.S. who would even follow this, which is not many, I think he's probably not taken good enough advantage of that opportunity.